This is Kimberly Page, and the Wrestling Epicenter would like to apologize for the following.
Hey guys, it's James Walsh here from the Wrestling Epicenter. I'd like to thank you for finding us here on YouTube. If you get the opportunity, please click that subscribe button, as well as the notifications bell. This way, anytime that we upload any new content or new-to-you content from our archives dating back to 2002, you'll be notified. You can check out what we're up to. Please also check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com for all your wrestling news and information needs, as well as check out our store to keep us running free and clear. Without any further delay, let's get to why you're here. Thanks for checking out Wrestling Epicenter on YouTube.
And welcome back to 3 Count Wrestling. This is Bill Farmer with Chris Ferguson, and we have a guest with us today, Kimberly Page. Kim, how are you?
I'm doing just fabulous. Thank you. How are you?
I am outstanding today. We've been looking forward to interviewing you for some time now and just catching up with you and seeing what you've been doing since you haven't been in the wrestling industry. So, first question, you got something coming out in a couple weeks. You got a project coming out. What is it?
I do. I have been partners for a number of years with a familiar name to you, I'm sure, Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh yeah.
On a project called Yoga for Regular Guys, or YRG, and we developed this workout in response to a problem that Dallas had when we were still married. And he was still wrestling. He was getting just so many repetitive and chronic injuries that he was starting to really be limited physically. I mean, you know, he could, in the morning, I'd have to literally pull him out of bed. You know, when the red light went on and it was time for a match, he turned it on and could deliver. But he just had so many compounding things, his shoulders, his neck, his low back, his knee, that his joints were really, really starting to suffer. And I had been trying to get him into a new exercise program that I had been practicing for months and months. Well, when you're a regular guy and you have your wife come up to you and say, honey, I think you need to do yoga. You know, typically, a girl will be met with some resistance because guys a lot of times tend to think of yoga as like, well, what my husband said was, that's for chicks. Nah, I'm not doing that. You know, bleep, bleep, bleep. So for like 6 months, I was on him about it. Man, I'm telling you, you know, I had my own lower back issues, my own hip calcification issues because I had a stress fracture in my femur from years back. And I had stopped running, something I really, really enjoyed doing because it was just too painful for me. Well, after practicing yoga for like 3 months, my joints and my back were so loose that I'll never forget. It was a Thanksgiving day. I said, you know what? I feel so good. I think I'll go out for a run. I hadn't done so in like 6 years. And I felt great, and I've been running ever since. And I was telling Dallas all this. I was saying, come on, you have got to try this. And so one day he was like, all right. Well, one day I came upstairs from finishing yoga, and he looks at me, I'm all sweaty, I'm like soaked, my hair's all wet with sweat. He's like, what were you just doing? Were you downstairs on the Stairmaster? And I was like, no, dude, I was doing yoga. He was like, really? He goes, I didn't know that was like a workout. I thought it was just like chanting and stretching and stuff like that. And I said, no, I'm telling you, it's hard. So he goes, all right, I'll come down and watch. So the next time, I came downstairs to the exercise room, and I was doing it along with a video. And he joined in, and he was like grunting and straining and everything because I was like, dude, you're not getting the point because, you know, it's all about kind of like relaxing. It's just going with the flow. But he's Mr. Competitive, and he saw me getting down, you know, into these poses pretty deep, and he wanted to do it too. And so he was just like, he was turning all red in the face. But I'll tell you, when we were finished at the end of an hour, he goes, you know, that was really hard and excruciating. He goes, but I'll tell you, I feel 2 inches taller. I really do feel like looser in my neck and shoulders and lower back and all these things. So he was hooked. And a couple months of, you know, practicing with me on a regular basis. He got into the flow of the breath, which is really what yoga is all about, is breathing properly. And he became a huge devotee and started practicing a lot in classes and stuff like that, and found other guys who were like, you know, normal, regular, like bodybuilder guys and athletes and stuff who were doing it, but doing it secretly. Because they didn't want to tell people, like, I'm doing yoga, because they thought it would make them sound fruity, right? So anyway, years go by, and he's just like, you know, I know so much about this stuff now. I'm going to kind of, like, start revising this 2,000-year-old practice and make it more friendly for guys. I'm going to take out the chanting. I'm going to take out all the, you know, the more, like, Eastern, you know, religious aspects of it and the spiritual part, and just make it a workout, make it more strength-based, make it more, you know, he likes the power yoga, the Ashtanga style. It's got a lot of upper body strength, you know, working with it. And so next thing you know, he had, like, completely changed this practice into something that used to be yoga, but now it was something else. And it's called what we're calling it today, YRG, Yoga for Regular Guys. And we have, so he published a book. The book came out last year. And last year we started working on putting together the workout videos. Now we got a series of 3 videos, and you can buy them right now on yrgworkout.com. And there's 3 different series for 3 different types of players, all right? The first is just the regular guys series, and that's just for a guy who's, you know, I don't know, age 18 to 80 really, but it's somebody who's in shape, somebody who's an athlete or a former athlete who, you know, works out on a regular basis. Maybe he plays golf, maybe he plays tennis, you know, whatever. Maybe he plays a pickup game of basketball on the weekends, but you know, he's starting to feel it in his joints, or, you know, he wants to rehab from an injury that he had a long time ago, or he just wants a little bit more flexibility, or he wants to just get a great cardio workout, because that is what this is too. It's not just, you know, a stretching workout. It is a cardio workout. You wear a heart rate monitor while you're doing this practice, and you stay in the zone. You stay in a cardio training zone for a good 45 minutes. So it's a fat burner too. So if you've got a few pounds to lose, the regular guy series is great for you. Now then there's another series called 50 plus. And that's for the big guys. That's for the guys who got 50 pounds or more that they need to lose. That's the guys who've been packing on the ribs and the beers, stuff like that.
So guys like me.
It's like a little bit more, like if you're a little limited in what you can do because of your weight, this is the series for you. It's called 50 plus. And then we got a third series, and it's called The Fountain of Youth. And that's for the older guys, okay? And, oh, and by the way, when I say guys, I mean that in kind of a unisex way, because in our workout videos, you see a lot of girls practicing it too. So when I say guys, I mean guys and gals. But, you know, what gals should be aware of is that this practice does incorporate a lot of strength stuff. So if you're into that, you know, then cool, you can go all out. If maybe you're like a lot of girls and you have a hard time with push-ups and things like that, well, we show a lot of different modifications. So that if your upper body strength isn't what it could be, then, you know, you start slow. And that's the case with anybody. You know, you start slow, start with what you can handle. We show you all the modifications, like if you got a knee injury, how to prevent yourself from hurting yourself doing this practice. And so the Fountain of Youth, though, is for people who are, you know, the AARP generation, who are still active, but like Dallas. Dallas is 51 years old. He is AARP all the way. I know you wouldn't believe it, but he is. and how he stays in shape now is 100% yoga. Yoga for regular guys. So anyway, so we got that out right now. We're going to make it more available to people in the general public by putting the introductory series, the 20-minute YRG workout, into Walmart, Costco, and Sam's. And that'll be out by December 15th. So when you're walking by, you know, for the audio books and stuff, check it out because it comes in a 2-pack. It's Alice's audio book called Own Your Life, which is kind of like a motivational prelude of getting your head right before you start a new exercise program. And then that is packed in with the 20 introductory workout. So that's just like your intro to YRG. So you go to Walmart, Costco, and Sam's, buy that one. It's only $14. And if you like it, if you're down with it, then go to yrgworkout.com. You can buy the whole series there.
And how much does the whole series run?
It's a good question. Because I get mine for free. I think it's like $50, something like that. But it's a 3 workout. It's a 3. Every series. We have the 3 series: regular guys, 50 plus, and Fountain of Youth. Each of those has more than one DVD in it. The regular guys series has a 20-minute workout. It's got a 45-minute workout, and it's got a 60-minute workout. So you're supposed to start little and work your way up. So first you start with a 20-minute, and then you work your way up to the fat burner, which is with a 45-minute workout, and then you're like going hardcore and you do the 60 minutes. But all in there, you may be flowing in the 60-minute workout, and then you've got a day during your week that's especially busy, and all you got time to do is 20 minutes, and you throw that DVD in there. So, I tell you, I'm really excited because having been a yogi for a number of years now, I'm really excited to bring this to a whole new population of guys who wouldn't touch yoga with a 10-foot pole. But now we've got DDP showing you how to do it in a masculine way, in a powerful way, in a hardcore training way that isn't going to make you feel like, oh my God, like, did I just step onto Mars or something? With chanting and singing and all that stuff. There won't be any of that. The music is cool. I mean, he practices yoga to R&B. He does not, and blues guitar music. He does not practice yoga to all the little Zen flutes and stuff like that. This is definitely an Americanized version.
Well, you definitely got me sold on that. My girlfriend's been trying to get me to do yoga for months, and
well, I tell you, you can really benefit after one session. You'll see a difference. After 3, you'll be like, oh my gosh, you'll be hooked. People who start to practice yoga, they don't really ever give it up. They may stop doing it for a little while, but they're always thinking in the back of their mind, if they take 2 months off or whatever, man, I felt so much better when I was practicing yoga. And you find your way back to it because it really does. It clears your head out. It clears your body gets all bound up with so many different things, sitting at the computer, driving. I'll tell you what, I'm in LA, and I drive all over the place, and I get more tension build up in my shoulders and neck from fighting the traffic in LA than just about anything I've ever experienced. I'll come home at the end of the day and I'll just be like, I feel like my shoulders are up around my ears. It's very tense. And if you have a stressful job or anything, if you're the athlete that just can't stop playing basketball. I know so many guys my age now. I'm 37 now. And guys my age are getting to that age where they're still playing basketball, they're still going hard, they're still playing hockey, whatever, they're feeling it in their joints. And I'll tell you, yoga will counteract all the suffering you're putting your joints through.
Awesome. Well, like our show is 3 Count Wrestling, but since you're not in the wrestling business anymore, as far as anyone knows, we've got some questions about your current career as an actress.
Sure.
All right, so I guess the first one I have is being an actress in Hollywood anything like being in the wrestling business?
Well, yes and no. The one really important thing that I learned from wrestling is that when the red light goes on, when it's time to perform, you have to go out and give it 100%. It doesn't matter what's going on in your personal life. It doesn't matter how you feel physically. You just got to go and you got to bring it. And that's what happens when you go to work on a television show or on a movie. There can be all kinds of crazy stuff going on all around you, but you have to be able to have such concentration and such focus that you can really give 100% to your acting partner and to your performance. So that's the first thing that that wrestling helps me with. And then the second thing is in the business aspect, there's a lot about being a performer in general that you can't control. You know, you've got, if you work in wrestling, your promoter is, you know, he holds your fate in his hands, how he decides to push you. And you can influence that by delivering good, consistent performances, by being a great worker, or by being, you know, really good talent. Or you can influence it negatively by, you know, you know, your offset behavior or whatever. But there's so much about the business that you cannot control. And that's very true in Hollywood. You know, you may see yourself in a million different parts, but unless your agent pushes you to the casting director, and unless the casting director is interested in seeing you in the first place, and you not be a good you may be a wonderful actor, but not so great in the audition process. So you got to be able to work with that. Maybe, you know, you get on set and you turn in a beautiful performance, but the lead actor decides you're too good looking and they don't want to compete with you. So you're gone. And, you know, you walk into a commercial audition and you may nail it, but you're just not the looks they're going for. They wanted a blonde instead of a brunette. Well, you can't control all those things. You know, you can't be all things to all people. So there has to be kind of like a little bit of serenity and surrender when you think about that stuff, or the business will drive you nuts.
Now, Hollywood can be very fickle, as we all know and all have heard. Do you think that it is difficult for women like yourself and Stacy Keibler to be taken seriously after you've been involved in the wrestling business?
Oh, absolutely. And if you look at my acting resume, it does not include wrestling. Because the second they see the wrestling, they go, "Oh, you're a wrestling chick," which in their minds is equated with campy, bad acting. So, you know, I'm a classically trained actor, you know, so I don't really want to be thought of that way. I can do a lot, you know, I've done Shakespeare, I've done Medea, so I don't want to be thought of in that respect. So, yeah, I took it off my resume, and it was a great part of my life. And, you know, in my toolkit, in my actor toolkit, there are a lot of things that I brought from the wrestling experience, but just not when I advertise myself to the casting folks.
It still has that stigma of being one step above pornography, huh?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but it's not pornography, but more like maybe a carnival, you know?
Okay.
Something like that. You know, a little bit of an offshoot. Still entertainment, but not really Hollywood, not really acting, you know?
Right. Exactly. Well,
you know, there are a lot of really, really highly trained professionals out here, and you know, it really is hard to compete when you have someone who has been acting in theater since age 4 and went to Juilliard, and went to, you know, New York University and got or Yale, you know, and graduated in fine arts there, and has been acting, you know, your whole life, then, you know, those kinds of people are really, really hard to compete with when you're, you know, when you came up through a different kind of venue.
Well, I really don't know how to phrase this question, so I'll just ask it. Do you think Stacy Keibler has it a little easier because of what she did with Dancing with the Stars?
Well, sure. That gave her a lot of publicity, and you know, it brought her into the awareness of a lot of people out here. I mean, I don't know about you, but I and so are so many other people out here in the Hollywood TV community. They all watch that show and are entranced by it. And she was certainly, you know, she came off very well on that show. So I'm sure it did nothing but help her.
You had a small but very memorable part in the 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is one of my favorite films that have come out recently. What was it like filming with all those guys like Steve Carell and some of the bigger comedy actors.
Well, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And the movie was shot completely improv. We had a rough script, but nothing was. You didn't have lines to memorize. It was really tricky because I show up on set and I was like, well, I haven't gotten a script, so I guess I don't have lines. But no, indeed, there were 10 of us brought in to be speed daters, and they just sat Steve in the restaurant and sat each one of us successively with him for about an hour at a time, and they just turned the cameras on and just went with it. And you're given a rough character sketch of what you were supposed to be like. And of course I had some additional things that I had to work with the prop master about, and the effects department about, because, the top had to move at just the right moment and all that silly stuff. But he was absolutely fantastic, and my stomach hurt so bad at the end of the day because I had been laughing all day long. Just one girl after the other would sit down with him, and the things that came out of his mouth, like, oh my God, where was that brain? That brain is just so quick because just reacted so brilliantly and in the funniest way to every single person's comment. And it was strange for me though, because I had a topless scene. The union rules state that, we got to have a closed set. So they waited for my bit to the end of the day. And everybody had been laughing. There was 100 people on set, and they'd been all rolling with laughter, just crying and holding their stomachs all day long. And then it got to my part, and they put the sheets up, so, as barriers so nobody could see, and blah, 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 right around the cameras and everything. And it got really quiet and weird. And I was like, oh no. I was like, this isn't going to be funny. I'm going to die. And oh geez, it's going to be weird. And so I'm asking the producer, I was like, can't we please just take those things down? Because, I know there's a monitor in the other room. There's other people going to be watching on the monitor anyway. And she's like, what? I peeked into the next room. Sure enough, all 90 people were squeezed in there watching. I was like, they're not going to see anyway. Come on, just take it down. Keep the light. Let's keep it fun. Come on, please. And she was like, no, it's the union rules. We got to. So I was just like, oh, God. So I sat down and I'm thinking, this is either going to be really good or it's just going to be absolutely horrific. But Steve and the director, Judd Apatow, made it so fun to sit there and do this scene that by the end of my hour sitting with him, my face hurt from laughing so much, and I just felt really good about it. I knew that they were going to have some good stuff. So,
can you tell us any of the things Steve said to you that might not have made it into the movie that were funny?
Well, how you can find that out is get the DVD, and how the DVD always has the special features.
Yep.
Check out the deleted scenes, and they showed all of the deleted speed dating scenes.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
It's more hysterical than the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all outtakes. It's freaking hilarious.
All right, now I know I was talking about this before the interview started, but I have to mention it again for the interview. There was a fan film I saw a couple of years ago called Grayson, where you played the quote-unquote villainess. Now, anybody who's seen it knows the role you played, but I guess copyright issues, they couldn't say the name Catwoman.
Sure.
Did any roles come out of that performance for you?
No, I got some really good notices on it, some really good, props as far as, compliments and things like that. But, no, this is a really funny town, After I did the 40-Year-Old Virgin, I thought, well, this is going to kind of be, the swan song for me playing this particular type of character because, I'm getting to the age now where I'm just about done playing bimbos. you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, to me, I love bimbos because they're fun and comedic and can be multi-layered and still very warm and vulnerable. But at this point in my career, I've been there, done that now a bunch. So I wanted to, you know, kind of expand my range on film and TV. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you know, and just the same thing holds true with action. You know, I spent a lot of years, you know, plugging myself as, you know, a potential action star and stuff. But now at age 37, you know, and I know that, I might be shooting myself in the foot by saying this, but, you know, doing a part, as an action hero in your early 20s is something completely different, when you do it as you're approaching 40. I mean, you watch a movie like Kill Bill, next to a role like what Jessica Alba played in the Fantastic Four. It's just two different things completely. And so, you know, the kinds of action parts that I'm looking for are a different kind of role than the kinds of action parts I used to play. And very much the kinds that I'm seeking are the kind that I played in Grayson. And John Fiorella, the director of that trailer, was absolutely fantastic to work with too. He's a director with vision, and you are going to see a lot of that man in the next 20 years. I guarantee it. He really, really knows what he wants to see, and he knows how to create it on a shoestring budget. I can't pay him big enough compliments because he was really a fine director to work for.
Awesome. Well, before we get to the next question, I have to ask about Monarch of the Moon.
Yes.
So you got to play the lead villainess in that role too. I guess the big question I have about that is, you know, how did you have to audition and get that role, or did they choose you for the part, or how did that come about for you?
Well, I think obviously anybody who's seen that wouldn't, you know, immediately recognize me because I played a geisha, you know, in such heavy makeup. You can't really tell that it's me. But that's another part that I'm proud of because it was really just a departure for me. And you're right, I wouldn't have seen myself in that role, certainly. I would have read geisha and I would have thought, oh, you know, they're looking for an Asian girl. But because of the nature of the film that they were creating, they're creating a spoof on the old 1930s serial genre, where they used Caucasian actors to play every ethnicity. That was their intention, was to book, you know, a Jane Russell type, you know, who might have played this kind of part back in the 40s, or Ava Gardner, somebody like that, and just put the heavy makeup on her and we'll move it. But that's what that was supposed to be about. And it was really fun for me to get an opportunity to play around with different physicality. And, you know, it was a challenge working through all that makeup and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I'm really glad I did that too. And it's a funny spoof of a film. It's, you know, campy and weird and silly, but I'll tell you, everybody is entertained who watches it.
Awesome. Well, we should also mention that it comes out December 26th. So
yes.
See, we do our research for some questions.
For some, nice.
For some. Yeah. Well, here's a more of a serious question, and if you don't feel comfortable answering it, you don't have to. Tylene Buck made the decision to do adult films instead of trying what you're doing, which is legitimate acting. Do you think her decision to do adult films helps other women wrestlers in Hollywood?
I don't think that there's any comparison drawn. You know, I don't think we can kind of be grouped together. Okay. You know, in some respects, you know, the connection to wrestling is there, but that's kind of where it ends.
Another one of the if you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to answer questions. I've always heard the rumors about there being a Gold's Club in the locker room at WCW. Is there any truth to those rumors?
Well, I don't know what rumors you heard. There were some crazy ones floating around. But I don't, were we there? Were we at the Gold Club, Dallas and I? Yeah. Was anything illegal going on? Never when I was there. I never saw it. That's why I was never deposed in the whole, thing, because I was never there when there was any hanky-panky going on. When you live in Atlanta, Georgia, the strip clubs, it's really funny, the strip clubs are very mainstream. Not like in other communities. I mean, I live in LA now. I would never go to a strip club. That's just, that would be like so weird and goofy to do. But in Atlanta, it's kind of like everybody goes. It's not like seen as a big deal, or it's, it's just a popular gathering place for men and women alike, and couples, and, it's never like, it's like, it's just a exciting place to go and take your friends, and kind of fun, and, but, so, yeah, we would go there occasionally, and they always treated us great, and, we had the VIP, section, which is like an upper balcony of that club. But there was never anything weird that went on there when I was there. Never.
Alrighty, well, once again, thanks for doing this interview, and if we could finish off with some word associations. Basically, you know how this goes. If you only want to give a one-word answer, that's fine. But if you have a story, feel free to share.
Oh, sure.
Okay. First one on our list is Scott Steiner.
Angry.
I think that's probably the most accurate one-word response I've ever heard about the guy. Second one on the list is Eric Bischoff.
Family.
Here's one. He's a wrestler turned actor. Evan Courageous.
Evan Courageous.
He was part of the 3-count tag
team. I remember Evan Courageous. Cutie Pie. Yes. Hello. Yes, I remember him.
All right. How about
another? What's he doing now? Is he in LA? Do you know?
I haven't been to his website in a little while, and he was I think he was doing small parts on soap operas. Last I checked.
Oh, okay. Okay. Recently?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well,
next one.
That's
Next one on the list has had a couple of pretty big roles in movies. Bill Goldberg.
Who?
Goldberg. Bill Goldberg.
Oh, yes. Sure. Mm-hmm.
You had a word association from?
Halloween Havoc. To me, the best match of my ex-husband's career was Diamond Dallas Page versus Goldberg in Halloween Havoc, and I believe that was 1998 or 1999. I can't remember.
Cool. Next one on the list
Very proud of their work on it.
Next one on the list is one of the stars of Ready to Rumble, David Arquette.
David Arquette. Free spirit. And, the toast cupcakes. I had breakfast with him once at Dallas and I had breakfast with him once at this little restaurant in LA called Toast. Mm-hmm. And he likes they have these special cupcakes there that have red food coloring in them. They're just they're disgusting looking. But David loves them. So funny.
All right. Another co-star from Ready to Rumble, Oliver Platt.
Oliver Platt. Talented.
And finally, the biggest wrestler turned actor, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Superstar. Without a doubt. Everybody likes Dwayne.
Well,
I see him all the time at Goldberg's gym, and he's as friendly as he was when nobody knew who he was.
Wow.
That's really cool to see somebody like that, because you don't hear about that too much.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, he reminds me a lot of Arnold in that respect. Schwarzenegger is still like that too. You see him around town, and he's just like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like, you're the governor. What are you doing? Just like walking down. You know, he just walks around like a regular guy, smoking a cigar or whatever. You know, like just do. It's like, what's the governor? You just expect him to be, you know, to have like a whole entourage around him all the time, but he doesn't. He's very regular. So funny. He's very friendly and approachable.
Wow. I live in California too.
Dwayne reminds me a lot of him.
Wow. All right. Well, once again, we really can't thank you enough for the time you spent with us. And if we could ask for one final favor.
Sure.
Can you do a liner for us? Basically, we'd like you to say, "Hi, this is Kim Page, and the Wrestling Epicenter would like to apologize for the following." Our show is a little tongue-in-cheek.
Okay.
And basically it's a tribute to Monty Python when they would have the BBC apologize for their show.
Absolutely. Are you ready?
Alrighty. 3, 2.
This is Kimberly Page, and the Wrestling Epicenter would love to apologize for the following.
Thank you very much. Okay. 3.
You want another one?
Sure. 3, 2.
This is Kimberly Page, and the Wrestling Epicenter would like to apologize for the following.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Can we also just ask you for one little small favor, too?
Sure.
Little tiny one here. Just say, "Hi, this is Kimberly Page, and you're listening to Bill and Chris on 3CW.
3CW?
Yes, that's the name of the show, 3 Count Wrestling.
Like the number 3.
Yep.
CW. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Bill and Chris. Okay.
Ready? 3, 2.
Hi, this is Kimberly Page, and you're listening to Bill and Chris on 3CW.
Thank you so much for doing all this and and spending the time with us. We really do appreciate it. And,
my pleasure.
And good luck with your career, and good luck with YRG, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Take care, you guys.